5-2. Niners just got that dub. Let's go. What are you talking about? Get up on your feet. You need to stand up and give this team a standing ovation. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it in prime time. In prime time. That's how you do it. Let me just start this show off like this. 10 points. 10 points. My defense. Your defense. Robert Saleh's defense only allowed 10 points to some of the most dangerous players in the NFL. Yeah, they held Bijan Robinson to 40 yards. He got a tutty, for sure. He got in the end zone, no doubt. 40 yards. 40. Show did. Show did. I will say this. Y'all better recognize. The league better recognize. Because the league, see, people think, because we lost, key players. You know what I'm saying? They like, the defense gonna be soft. It's not. It's gonna be different, for sure. Different should have been the word, but not soft, not bad, not any of those negative connotative words should have been about a Robert Saleh's defense. Robert Saleh had a week to plan with the players that he was going to use. I'm already good. Look, and I want to know from you guys out there, man. I got a poll question going on. You know what I'm saying? Which side was most impressive, offensive or defensive? The 49ers got George Kittle back. It was good to have him back. We're going to talk about this run game. The defense had new players. You had a second-year, 7th-round pick player wearing a green dot who left the game with some undisclosed type of injury and then came back into the game, and I thought he had a phenomenal game. Couple of missed tackles, for sure, but I thought he had a phenomenal game. Which side was most impressive, offensive or defensive? Let's talk about Tatum Bethune, because Tatum Bethune led this team in tackles, just like he's supposed to. Cat was all over the field. Had a big play to help seal the deal on the game, but it got negated by a penalty from Demo. Tatum Bethune. Y'all better recognize that name, Tatum Bethune, because it's only going to go up from here. He just had to deal with, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and and there's some fact to this opinion. And I'm going to get to y'all comments. Shout out to everybody in there. Jax Knox, Rob D, Miguel, Venoms. I see you floating beer. Check this out, though. I think on our schedule, Tatum Bethune just had to deal with the toughest running back situation of all time. There's no more Bijan Robinsons we got to play coming up. No more. They all gone. The greatest cat was jump cutting, man. It looked like he was a bigger version of LaDainian Tomlinson, a taller version. That dude was jump cutting before the cut started to jump. I was like, damn, you going to hit the ground? You floating on love, floating on air? He was cutting. He missed a tackle or two. Couple of missed tackles for sure. You know what I'm saying? Couple of missed tackles for sure. But 10 tackles for this kid. 4 of them were solo tackles. He was all over the ball. He had a tackle for a loss in this game. And I'm telling you, that last play, he ran, he plumbled, whatever the word is. He pancaked the offensive lineman. I don't know if defenders can pancake guys, but he knocked him on his patootie. And I was like, yeah, and got the pressure and forced a bad pass. Unfortunately, they threw a flag on him. I love it. I love it. I love everything that I saw from this team. I saw heart. I saw grit. And I know the score was 20-10, and it was a grind. 10 points. Like, I'm so impressed with Robert Saleh's game plan and defense. Mind you, he lost his starting cornerback early. Renardo Green left the game with a toe injury. These toes, man. I don't these toe injuries, man. I don't know what type of soles they wearing in their shoes. They need to get orthotics. Like I feel like if you're in the NFL, just get somebody to make orthotics so you have your own personal soles. They make way too much money to not have orthotics. Hell, I paid 200 for mine, and I don't make nearly what these guys make. You know what I'm saying? I make a fraction. That's like one of my checks. They probably make $200-300, just by putting on a shoelace. Like, look, all I'm saying is they need to get their feet and wear better cleats, get wide cleats. I don't know. All I know is he left the game with a toe injury. You know what I'm saying? So for the Niners, loved what I saw from Tatum Bethune. I think the 49ers have a young star that's going to continue to rise. The more reps he gets, I'm super excited. Faithful, come on, like you watched a young defense go out there and tee off. I'm gonna stay with the defensive side because Bryce Huff and his pressures, Sam Okuwano and his sack. You got 2 sacks in this game, one from Huff, one from Sam Okuwano. Like, I loved what I was seeing. They only gave up one explosive play in the air, and it came at the end, toward the end of the second quarter, the end of the first half. It was a 38-yard game. One time. That was all it took. One time. One explosive play was 38 yards. I don't think anything else was in the air for over 20. Maybe the play to Darnell Mooney might have been a big one. They did get a couple of big penalties on the defensive side. That's a whole nother conversation. I thought those were like iffy calls, especially the one on Demo at the end. Especially the one earlier. That was definitely an iffy call. That should have been OPI, but we ain't going to have that conversation because the refs don't like the Niners and give them any favor, especially when I watched Demarcus Robinson get grabbed and kind of prevented him from catching that 41-yard pass down the field, right? Like, it was an arm around his waist. I mean, that's interference, right? I mean, if there's no arm around the waist, maybe he fully is able to catch that with his hands. But if he's got an arm, like somebody give him a hug, like my man Big Perm, was it like this, or was it like this? I mean, it was just around his waist. I don't know. They didn't call it anyway. It's a whole nother conversation. Let's get to some of these comments, man. I know y'all in here. I know y'all on one. I feel it. I feel the love. I can feel the love tonight. I didn't even ask for grades. I'm gonna post grades up here as one of the polls for sure to end the show. And so definitely want to see what you guys vote. What grade? What was your overall grade? You don't got to post it in, in the comment. You can post it right here on the poll, and then I'll check back and I'll read some of those comments as well. We're just gonna go with solid A, B, C, and D. We're not gonna go with no Fs. I didn't think there were any Fs. Special teams still is being worked, but I will give my special teams player of the game to Malik Turner. I don't know what the Niners got to do, but he clearly was the gunner we had in the Super Bowl, and it worked. And then as a receiver, it worked. I don't know what he needs to do to make this roster. I guarantee you, though, once he uses all of his elevations from the practice squad, he will be signed to this roster some way, somehow. I can feel you just have to, because of what he provides on the special teams. What he provides on special teams. You got to find a way to get Malik Turner up here because he helped save the day. He helped save the touchdown. He helped save a couple of plays on special teams. So Malik Turner, to me, had a freaking day on special teams. Matter of fact, I should have put him as one of the players of the game, but I like what I saw from all 4 of these players, and we'll talk about them. Now, 49ers on the offensive side, they did lose a couple of players. Like Jake Brendel was out for the game. He had a hamstring injury, but enter Matt Feed Me Hennessy, baby. I'm talking VSOP Matt Hennessy. This guy looked good in the run game, good in pass protection, and there's no way I'm turning back from him now. From this day forward, I need Kyle Shanahan and Chris Foster to say, listen, WayneBreezie said that don't, Jake, we got you, man. take your hamstring, get it fixed, and heal. We got you covered. We got your backup covered. Because the Niners, I don't know what they be seeing, and I don't know what the hell PFF be grading. But Jake Brendel be missing blocks. That's bad. Matt Henne and the run blocking. You want to know how Christian McCaffrey got that second touchdown? Because Matt Hennessy said, I'm grabbing you, and we going into this end zone. Him and Connor Colby. So I like what I saw from the offensive line. Like the continuity seemed to be there. And Matt seems to be an upgrade over, and I understand he has some issues in the preseason, but this ain't preseason. This is now. This is real season. I like what I saw from Matt Henne. I need another game. I need a full game of him, full game. So only way I can compare the two. I can't compare a guy that comes into a game and is filling in for the starter. I need a full game as a starter. So just know I got my question mark around Matt Hennessy moving forward. We'll see what happens as far as the injury report, moving forward with Kyle Shanahan and stuff like that once he gets that out there. But Float and Beer, I saw your comment about that. You talked about the offensive line, and he said we need to get Garindo a few touches. Look, as far as Garindo, my dude, yeah, man, it's a done deal. And I'll explain it to you like this. Garindo won't see touches unless there's an injury to a running back. So the way Kyle Shanahan and Bobby Turner are playing their systems is a 2 running back system. You're going to get your main running back in Christian McCaffrey, and then you're going to get the guy that's going to come in and spell. And spell means breathing time, right? So it's not like they're going to use a 2 running back system, how you see the Detroit Lions. That's not what Kyle Shanahan, that's not what Bobby Turner likes. That's not what Bobby Turner is going to do. And it's hard to really remove Christian McCaffrey from the football field, especially when you get this version of Christian McCaffrey, who had like 5 to 6 explosive plays on the ground. I'm talking about runs 10 yards or more. It's hard to take him off because of the matchup that he creates for the defenses and the receiving game as well as in the run game. So you don't really want to take him off the field. So for a breather, you remove him, you put in the guy you traded for. Now, if they didn't trade for Brian Robinson Jr., it would be Isaac Garindo. Isaac Garindo right now, in my opinion, this is my opinion, there's no fact here. In my opinion, Isaac Garindo is the future, part of what the future is going to be for the Niners. Kyle Shanahan already said that he didn't do anything to lose anything, but he's also not doing anything to gain anything. And he's not getting an opportunity to do anything to gain anything because you traded for Brian Robinson, you gave up draft capital for him, and you're going to use that, right? So that is the running back situation in my opinion. And like I said, I could be totally wrong or whatnot, but that's why I think you're not seeing any Isaac Garindo. He did have the first special teams play where he kind of like fell, missed the tackle, but got back up and made the tackle. So like, I really love to see, I really loved what I saw from Isaac Garindo on special teams. Now I got to watch, there was a big return. So now I got to go back and watch the film on how did that return happen? But I love what I saw from him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's going to be dope. Jack says CMC is him, baby. Let's talk about the Christian McCaffrey. He's a brand now. Christian McCaffrey, man, 201 all-purpose yards, baby. Like all-purpose. The only thing he didn't do in this game was throw the ball. I would have loved to have seen it. I would have loved to see it. The only thing he didn't do, but 201 all-purpose yards, 121 yards on the ground. We got our run game back, baby. Thank you, George Kittle. And I'll explain to you what Kyle Shanahan was doing with the 2 tight end sets out there in the run game, because you didn't see much of Jake Tonjes unless it was on a 3rd and long, unless it was a long distance type of a thing. That's when you saw Jake. It's crazy that the only tight end that caught a pass in this game was Luke Farrell. Make man. You mean to tell me Luke Farrell was the only tight end that was able to reel in a pass? Yep, sure was. It was Luke Farrell. He was on that same set with George Kittle in there, Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. So they brought their blocking tight ends out. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was doing. What's going on? PG's in the building as well. Look, I liked what I saw from Christian McCaffrey. So I gotta ask you a little bit more what you mean by this. Where is it at? Right here. Chosen few. All right. I gotta post this. He says, offensive line, get it together. All right. So let's talk about the offensive line, because What did you see that was bad about the offensive line? I just want to know what was negative about the O line. You had tons of explosive plays, tons, tons of explosive plays. Not so many in the air, but definitely on the ground. So would you say that the run blocking for the offensive line was better? Because that's what I got. You know what I mean? I got better run blocking, and I mean, obviously we inserted George Kittle again. We used some 12 personnel out there that helped out with the run blocking. Pass pro, I mean, Mac was sacked one time. He did avoid a couple of sacks. I didn't see guys give up necessarily like too many pressures. They did blitz. I think that sack we gave up was on maybe Connor Kobe was on a blitz. So yeah, but I didn't see Matt get beat up like we normally see Matt get beat up. Now again, I got to go back and watch the film. I wasn't paying attention to the offensive line. I was too busy entertaining the crowd. So you might be right. The offensive line may need to get it together, but I would say they scored 2 rushing touchdowns on the goal line and they got 100 and to see 129, 111. Why am I looking at that? And I could just get the total. I'm so silly. Sometimes I'm just more silly than the average bear. Let's go. The 49ers on the ground. Man, listen, them cats was running the ball today. They were running the ball. What if I got to refresh this? I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 39 attempts for 174 yards. Man, they was running today. If anything we didn't do was throw the ball. We grinded this one out. This was a grind win. You know what I mean? This is a grind win. Pass protection still could be better. It could be, man, but this offense isn't what you guys. This offense isn't built. How can I say this? The offense isn't built for long pass protections. Like Mac has to get the ball out of his hand quick. You got to get the ball to your crossing routes. Mac Jones missed tons of crossing routes. He missed a wide open KB in the end zone. He didn't shoot those little crossing routes that we normally do, where we see the guy catch the ball, whatever, and then they take off for yak. That wasn't what Mac did today. Like even on that third down when Mac threw the ball, and yeah, Demarcus Robinson should have caught it, even though I thought he was interfered with. Why? Why do we do that? Well, why not just get this 3rd and 3? Why not just do a crossing route right across the middle, little drag route, something like that, and let Mac hit it? But I don't know. I don't know what the game plan was. It clearly wasn't what we normally see it to be. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a little bit different. But the pass protection always could be better. But I don't think it's going to be better because it's built for quarterbacks to get rid of the ball quickly. It's not built like how we see a lot of the other offensive lines. But I got to give the offensive line credit for being better in run blocking. I got to give the offensive line credit for being better in run blocking. I do. Clippers fanatic. Don't the Falcons literally lead the league in sacks? That's a good question. I don't think they led the league in sacks, but maybe you're right. I don't know if they led the league in sacks. They do blitz a lot. They do. But I don't know if they led the league in sacks. So I don't have that information right off the top of my head. You might be right because I'm trying to think of some other I know the Jaguars led the league in interceptions. You know what? Let me just look it up. Who leads which team? That's what I need to say. Which team leads league in NFL sacks? All right, let's see if I could get that information for you because you might be right. So I think it's the Broncos. So if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos have 34, Rams 26, Steelers 22, Seahawks 20. And who do we just play? The Falcons. Now the Falcons did lead the league in blitzing. Falcons only have 15 sacks, so they definitely weren't leading the league in sacks, fam. But they definitely lead the league in blitzing and pressures. They also didn't have their rookie Jalen Walker out there. So, it is what it is. But I love what I saw from Trent Williams. All right. So don't forget, man, make sure who was your player of the game. Was it CMC? Bryce Huff? He had the sack. He had a forced fumble. Tatum Bethune led the team in tackles. Was just a monster filling in for Fred Warner. A couple of pass coverage. They had Tatum Bethune covering Drake London, y'all. I saw him covering Drake London. I'm like, what the freak is going on? That's what Atlanta wanted. They wanted to create that. And Trent had some of the best blocks, pancakes, taking wide receivers out. You want to talk about some of those big gains? Psh, Christian McCaffrey, look, his longest run was 15, if I'm not mistaken, or did it get longer? Christian McCaffrey's longest run was a 17-yard. I'm trying to tell you, man. No, I'm sorry. His longest catch was 17 yards. His longest run was 15. I was right. So 15, run, catch, 17. Christian McCaffrey, like these blocks were just phenomenal. Right now, we got everybody's vote for Christian McCaffrey, and I get it. Christian McCaffrey's not. He is not human. You understand? Not human. Now I was a little like suspect. Like we didn't use our wide receivers. River Spider says with the wide receivers out, we aren't going to throw a lot. It was a run game today since it was working. Yeah, River, but our wide receivers been out, bro. Where you been? We've been throwing all season long. Now I agree with you that the run game was working, but our wide receivers been out. And Kendrick Bourne had back-to-back games over 142 yards, back-to-back games. We've been throwing the ball. Matter of fact, Mac Jones last game, I felt like he dropped back 49 times against the Bucs. Yeah, we be throwing the ball. This game was just definitely a run CMC type of game because you saw the push up front. Not a lot of outside zone runs. Really a lot of push up front, though. They were inside zones, outside, inside, outside. Christian McCaffrey making people miss. Him and his jump cuts. It was really cool. It was really cool to watch. It was like, this is what we were talking about. So maybe, just maybe George Kittle was the missing link for the run game. Maybe he was the missing link for the run game. Now, I will say this, George Kittle, first game in his career, I feel like, where he ain't had no catch. Damn. Got to give my boy George Kittle some love. Yo, Teach, 88. What's good, Teach? He says, what we got to do to show Lynch to make a trade. So listen, I really do think that John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan are adamant about trading. Now they're going to let players develop, but they're going to, they're going to entertain some adding a new piece to this team. They're going to entertain it. It's without a doubt in my mind. They're going to entertain it. So it all comes down to what the teams are asking for and things like that. And so as far as the player, listen, we got 2 weeks before the trade deadline. All right. The trade deadline is not till after the Giants game. So that Sunday and then that Tuesday after that Sunday of the Giants game is the trade deadline. I think we rock out until then. I think we just rock out. We let it coast. We 5-2. We have the ability to go 6-2 and then in Houston next week, and then 6-2. And let's pay attention. Let's see how well Houston plays. I know we want Houston to win this week. We want them to beat Seattle. We never want Seattle to win. The Niners are first place in their division is because they've beaten every team in the NFC West. So we want Seattle to lose. But let's just see how well Texas plays, because the Texans play, because that is going to let us know we're going to go out there and it's going to be another defensive battle for sure. I think the Niners have the better offense too. And I think the Niners have the better offensive line. So that's a winnable game, even though it's on the road. And then you go to New York. And I know New York looks good. New York lost by 1 point. Bada boo, who cares? But I think after that game, we'll know if we're going to be making a trade, because the deadline is that Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? The deadline is that Tuesday. Chosen Few says we need to make a trade before the Giants game. So I slightly disagree. But I would love to know why you feel like we need to make a trade before. And the reason why I say I slightly disagree is because the Niners have a comfortable standing, and they're gonna 9 times out of 10 they're gonna win again. So you're talking about going into the trade deadline at 7-2 or 6-3. They're winning one of the road games. I have them winning both, but they're going to win at least one. So we're 5-2 now, and then you go in at 6-2, and then you add artillery to that. That means you're all in. And so when you're all in, depending on who they trade for, we're going to know. It's not going to be the Trey Hendrickson. It's not going to be those guys, but it's going to be extra pass rush. I thought what helped the secondary out today was the fact that we had an extra pass rush. My sleeper player of the game. He came in. I don't know why he didn't start, man. When you didn't have my man up to start out there, I was saying to myself, well, then Chase Lucas has to be the starter at the nickelback. Chase Lucas is a player ready to make a play. I guess we can call him a playmaker, you know? He's a player that's ready to make a freaking play. And so I liked what I saw from Chase Lucas. You saw the disruption he had on the nickel blitz. You saw with the interception that he dropped. Like, he's ready to make a play. If I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners decided to let Upton Stout. He's going to practice this week, obviously, but let Upton Stout heal, whatever. It's okay if you pull a rookie back a little bit and go with a veteran guy. It's okay. It's okay. And you can mix those guys in, right? You can interchange those guys in. It could be matchup purposes. I like what I saw from Chase Lucas. I think Chase Lucas is a baller, and I would love to see more of Chase Lucas on the football field. Now, my man T. Mackin says, we need a pass rusher. Yeah, Jack says, yes, Chase is him. We was all hollering on the Patreon for Chase. We need a pass rusher. Yes, 100%. I think this is why I say the trade will happen. And you got to remember, like, it takes two teams. And so we just got to sit back. I think with the trade situation, got to be patient. And the Niners have a budget. The Niners have a budget. But the Niners also know how to trade picks to where if they're going to find a player that they're going to trade for and they don't have any plans of bringing that player back, they're going to trade for a player that 9 times out of 10 will most likely get signed by another team. And guess what the Niners will recoup? A comp pick. So the Niners got a formula, okay? And the Niners formula is the Niners formula. I promise you. And it works. It works. So we just got to kind of, today's message at church, my sermon was about patience. It was more than that, but that's the only thing that I took from it because, man, Lord knows I got to develop patience. But patience. So we just got to fall back and be patient. Here's what I love. I loved everything I saw out there, even the mistakes. I didn't like the injuries, obviously, but the mistakes can be corrected. But these young players had an agenda, and I thought they accomplished it. They had an agenda, and I thought they executed it. They had an agenda, and they got the goddamn job done. 20-10 was the score. The defense only gave up 10. The Niners offense was able to put up 20. Both sides of the football around their average. The Niners definitely met their average. The point spread was only a point at the time of kickoff. It went down to 1 point. We were 1 point favorites in this game. 1 freaking point favorites in this game. 1 point favorites at home in this game. Overall, thought the Niners played great. Congratulations, round of applause. Christian McCaffrey has his 9th career game with at least 100 rushing yards and 50 receiving yards. He's tied with Jim Brown. Listen to these names. Priest Holmes, Kansas City running back. I don't know if y'all remember him. For 3rd most all time. He's only trailing 2 running backs. Can you guess who they are? He's tied for 3rd. So his next 100 rushing yard game plus 50, I don't know how many more he need, but he got to catch up to these two, Marshall Faulk and Walter Payton. That's a great company to be in. So he's in the company with Jim Brown. He's tied with Jim Brown, Hall of Famer. Priest Holmes, another one. Marshall Faulk, another one. And he's trying to catch up to Marshall Faulk and Walter Payton, both Hall of Famers. Christian McCaffrey is definitely making his way back. And I hope you guys are believers now. Do you feel like Christian McCaffrey is fully back? We all voted for him as player of the game. 100% of everybody that voted. Now we got to get down with the grades. Now I asked for grades, all right? And I said, what was your overall grade? Overall, 50%. Now, how's this possible? Could somebody help me do the math? Did I put this that you could vote more than once or something? Because 50%, no, this is right. This is right. 50. So 50% says A, 47% says B, and 3% with the D. So no C's? Like, how the hell we get to the D? I'm confused. I don't know. But it is what it is. I think overall, I don't know if I'm in the A category. I'm not gonna lie. Because I always find stuff. I feel like there were times they could have executed better, especially on third down. I thought third down they started off great, and then didn't finish great on third down. So that would be an area where I think the Niners need to work. But I think they got to the red zone twice this week. I mean, and scored 2 touchdowns. And I am content like a mug, baby. I am content. Let me just double check. Yeah, third down, they weren't even that bad. They were 60% on third down. I'll take that any day. 2 for 2 in the red zone, though, 100%. So the Niners, you know what? Bump it. I give them an A. I give them an A. I give them a motherfreaking A. I think the Niners deserved an A. Shout out to Eddie Money Pinero, because this guy has had more 50-yard attempts in his career, and he's nailing them. Eddie Money Pinero is killing. He's kicking him, baby. Can he kick it? Yes, he can. Listen, man, I'm your boy Breezie. I appreciate everybody for rocking out with me on the Overreaction Show. We are 5-2, first place in the NFC West, and we got a lot of football left to play. I'll be in Houston next week, so I won't be here for this show, and I'll be in New York the following week, so I won't be here. Make sure you support all the other 49er content creators right here on Bleacher Report. I will be back. I promise you, we are going to have some fun the remainder of this season. The Niners, you know what it is for the 49ers? Sky's the limit. And here's the thing that makes the Niners the most scariest team in the NFL. They continue to find ways to win games through adversity. I don't know how else, I don't know what else to say. I can sign off on that. Love you guys. Keep it faithful to the Bay.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.